Chapter 1: The Most Precious Bead of Life and Death. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Tianwu Kingdom, Yunlong County, Qinyun City Martial Hall. In the corner of the martial arts hall, a thin young man sighed with frustration. It has been 3 years since I entered school, but my cultivation level is only at the second level of body refining. If there is no breakthrough, I will be expelled from the martial arts palace at the end of the semester and become the lowest pariah for the rest of my life. No, I can't be expelled from the martial palace, otherwise my life will be over. That the joints of Luo Xiu's clenched fists turned white, and he screamed over and over again in his heart, but his body didn't seem to be the material for martial arts training. After 3 years of training, he became a loser at the bottom of the martial arts hall. Well, that the heavy reality made Luo Xiu breathless. At this moment, a frightened scream was heard from the front. "You, what are you going to do?" Luo Xiu took a closer look and found that deep in the corner, a beautiful girl in a white dress was surrounded by several people. "Hey, Lu Yusin, I've liked you for a long time, give me a chance." A young man in brocade clothes smiled coldly, and a pair of wretched eyes glanced at Lu Yusin's young and tender body, which had just grown and was beginning to take shape. With hot greed flashing in his eyes, a flash of deep disgust flashed in Lu Yusin's eyes. "Zhang Hao, I don't like you, get out of my way." Hey, don't leave in a hurry." Several other scoundrels blocked Lu Yusin's way. Zhang Hao stepped forward with a figure-footed step and stretched out his hand to pull Lu Yusin. "Lu Yusin, now I am at the 4th level of body refining. Are you so disrespectful to a strong man at the 4th level of body refining? Get your dirty hands off." Lu Yusin hurriedly took a step back, clenching her pink fists. "If you dare to do anything to me, my Lu family will not let you go." "Lu family?" Zhang Hao smiled disdainfully. "Others are afraid of your Lu family, but our Zhang family is not afraid. Today I will take you to a place where there is no one, and we will cook the rice before it is raw. Your Lu family will definitely not dare to publicize this matter. By then, there is no other way except marrying me." You are delusional." Lu Yusin was terrified, her pretty face turned red, and she clenched her teeth. Hee. You have such a strong temper, but I like you like this." Zhang Hao laughed arrogantly, and then waved his hand, and the few henchmen following Zhang Hao gathered around him with ferocious expressions. "Stop!" At this moment, a timid scolding voice from a young man came from behind. Luo Xiu hesitated again and again, but finally mustered up the courage to stand up. He had been in this martial arts hall for 3 years and had a crush on Lu Yusin for 3 years. However, he also knew the gap between himself and Lu Yusin, so he never dared to express it. Now that Lu Yusin was entangled with Zhang Hao, how could he just sit back and do nothing? Zhang Hao was stunned and frowned slightly. He was a little annoyed at being disturbed. After turning around to see the person clearly, he couldn't help but sneered. Ha, who did I think? It turned out to be a useless pariah, a second-level body refiner. How dare a useless person meddle in others' affairs? Li Hai, let him know the consequences of meddling in others' affairs. Yes, a tall young man behind Zhang Hao nodded in response. Little waste, if you dare to meddle in your own business, I will let you know the price of meddling in your own business. Li Hai smiled ferociously, and suddenly struck out, hitting Luo Xiu's chest with a fierce straight punch, accompanied by the sound of howling wind. Lu Yusin was a little surprised when someone showed up to help, but when she saw that it was Luo Xiu, her face turned gloomy. How can a weak person help? As expected, there was a huge disparity in strength. Luo Xiu, who was only at the second level of body refining, had no time to react and could only watch as the opponent's fist hit his chest. Boom! The sound of a punch hitting the flesh suddenly came out, and a thin figure suddenly flew backwards, fell heavily to the ground, and spit out a mouthful of blood. Ha. How dare you, a trash pariah with the second level of body refining who is so vulnerable, dare to imitate other people's heroes to save beauty? Ruin Master Zhang's good deeds. Li Hai held his bloody fist and sneered, looking at Luo Xiu who was lying on the ground vomiting blood with disdain. Well done. Zhang Hao walked slowly and came to Luo Xiu's side. You loser, you will be expelled from the martial arts hall at the end of the semester. and you will only be a lowly pariah for the rest of your life. You are lucky if I don't beat you to death. Let's see if you still dare. What's wrong with me? Let Luo Xiu go. Facing Xuanhuan's insults, Luo Xiu showed no fear. He suddenly raised his head, his dark eyes full of anger, clenched his fists, and stared at Xuanhuan. Damn it! You still dare to speak harshly. I will make your memory long today. Xuanhuan was furious, and his cultivation level at the 4th level of body training suddenly exploded, and he stamped hard on Luo Xiu's chest. Crack! The wild force, which was many times stronger than Li Hai, exploded in Luo Xiu's chest. Luo Xiu's sternum was broken several times, and an indescribable severe pain swept through Luo Xiu's brain like a tide, but Luo Xiu clenched his fist tightly and gritted his teeth. Let Luo Xiu go. Damn, you bitch has a pretty strong bone. Let me see how many times you can survive this. After Xuanhuan finished speaking, he was ready to lift his foot and kick again. What are you doing here? At this moment, a scolding came from the distance, and a middle-aged man in black walked over with a majestic look. Fighting in private? Do you think your cultivation is enough? Why don't you go and practice? Yes, Elder Wan. Although Xuanhuan was arrogant, he did not dare to make mistakes when facing the elders of the martial palace. You're lucky. Looking at Luo Xiu and Luo Xiu coldly, Xuanhuan flicked his sleeves and left with his people. Thank you. Luo Xiu glanced at Luo Xiu and turned to leave. Luo Xiu's indifference made Luo Xiu feel very sad inside. How could he not see that Luo Xiu didn't take him seriously at all? Even if he was beaten to death by Xuanhuan, Luo Xiu would not take it seriously. He suppressed his fear and stood up for Luo Xiu, but he only got this result. For a moment, he felt unwillingness and resentment filling his chest. Just when Luo Xiu was about to speak angrily. Suddenly. Ah! Luo Xiu suddenly opened his mouth and screamed loudly, veins all over his body popped out, all blood vessels bulged, and his originally pale skin turned into scarlet blood. Luo Xiu wore a bead on his chest, which was slowly infiltrating into his flesh and blood at a speed visible to the naked eye. Luo Xiu could still endure the pain of flesh and blood, but this bead seemed to have penetrated into his own soul, tearing his soul apart crazily. Ah! With a painful roar, Luo Xiu's eyes darkened and he fell into a deep sleep. I do not know how long it has been. Hiss. Luo Xiu woke up from his deep sleep and took a breath of air, feeling the tearing pain coming from his body. Suddenly, Luo Xiu seemed to have thought of something terrible. He quickly reached out to touch his chest, opened his clothes, and screamed, "The beads are gone." The bead was picked up by his father when Luo Xiu was very young. It was black and white, crystal clear, and very beautiful. He kept it close to his chest. Did it really get into my body? Just when Luo Xiu was thinking wildly, suddenly. Boom! It was like a violent tremor in the soul, and then his vision went dark. Luo Xiu felt that he appeared in a dark and empty world. Where is this place? Suddenly, a bright light appeared in the dark space. It was a bead with black and white brilliance. Suddenly, the bead flew towards him, crashed into his body, and merged with him. A huge amount of information flooded into his mind, and his brain suddenly swelled and he felt dizzy. There are many special memories in my head. The most precious bead of life and death, the diagram of life veins, what are these? Could these memories be brought to me by beads? What on earth is this bead? Luo Xiu frowned slightly, sat cross-legged on the bed, and thought, another self appeared in my mind. It's just that the self in my mind has life veins emitting a faint white light connected to each other, covering every part of the body, forming a life vein map. It's just that there are a few veins that are relatively dim. If you think about it carefully, they are the places where Xuanhuan was injured. As long as you use your inner energy to repair the dim areas in the life meridian diagram, you can recover from the injury. Luo Xiu suddenly sensed a piece of information in his mind, which made him a little unbelievable and completely beyond his cognition. Whether it works or not, let's try it first before talking. After thinking about this, Luo Xiu sat down cross-legged on the bed and started to run the exercises, and the internal energy began to circulate in the meridians in the body, along with the movement of inner energy, many dark places in Luo Xiu's life meridian diagram gradually became clearer and brighter. Is this the secret of the most precious life and death pearl? Directly repair the life veins, and the injuries on the body can automatically recover. This is too amazing. With a leap, Luo Xiu got down from the bed, and all his injuries were actually restored to the original state. Although the inner energy has been exhausted, I am originally at the second level of body refining. I can only store a small amount of inner energy in my skin and flesh, and I can recover quickly. Luo Xiu was ecstatic and sat cross-legged again, absorbing the inner energy. Puff, suddenly, the life diagram in my mind collapsed. Is it because the level of my technique is too low, which caused the life vein diagram to collapse? Luo Xiu muttered to himself, frowned slightly, touched his chin, and said to himself, I am practicing the lowest level of first-grade skills. The starting point is indeed very poor, but based on the enlightenment of the life and death pearl, I seem to be able to improve it. Try this technique. After speaking, Luo Xiu sat down again and began to absorb. An hour later, the improvement of the technique was successful. Luo Xiu was surprised and happy. The inner qi has also quietly changed, containing majestic vitality and at the same time hiding the aura of death and destruction. The two extremes of life and death, the most precious life and death bead that integrated with himself gave him enlightenment. Luo Xiu knew that his destiny in life had begun to change. Chapter 2 Feel Proud. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The next morning, after practicing all night, Luo Xiu slowly opened his eyes. Not only was he not tired, but he was full of energy. Perhaps the cultivation speed in the past 3 years was too slow, so that his body was very hungry, almost greedily devouring and absorbing the vitality of heaven and earth. The effect of one night's cultivation was very obvious, and it would not take long for him to break through to the third level of body refining. Moreover, after accidentally merging the life and death beads, Luo Xiu found that his physique was also affected by the two polar qi of life and death. In the process of cultivation, it would be like a complete transformation. After opening the door and walking out, Luo Xiu went to the martial arts performance hall of the martial arts hall. Many martial arts students got up early in the morning and practiced hard in the martial arts arena. Many people had strange expressions when they saw Luo Xiu appearing here. Wasn't he beaten unconscious by Zhang Hao's men yesterday? Hey, I heard that this kid liked Lu Yusin. When he saw Zhang Hao pestering Yusin, he rushed to save her. Just him. He's just a poor boy from an untouchable background. He doesn't even urinate to look after himself. A toad wants to eat swan meat. Lu Yusin is the daughter of the Lu family. How could she fall in love with such a lowly person? I don't know how high the sky is. Along the way, Luo Xiu heard a lot of ridicule and ridicule. It would be impossible to say that he was not angry at all. But after being beaten yesterday, he knew very well that he had no strength, and he had no words to refute. Right. Since martial arts can be improved, and martial arts are also a way of moving internal energy, I wonder if they can also be improved. In a remote corner of the martial arts arena, Luo Xiu took a deep breath to calm down. Snapped, I saw his figure suddenly move. He got into a posture, and launched a set of punches. Each move was open and closed, and his fists were waved, creating strong wind. This set of martial arts, called Magnia Fist, is a first-grade martial arts and the only martial arts he practices. Because the Xuanhuan City Martial Arts Hall will not teach martial arts for free, there are only 2 ways to obtain martial arts inheritance. One is to spend money to purchase the martial arts. The higher the level of martial arts, the more expensive it is. The lowest level of first-grade martial arts is also I want 100 taels of silver. There is another way, that is, if your martial arts cultivation reaches a certain level, you can enter the library of the martial palace and choose a higher level of martial arts. The first-grade martial arts and martial arts that Luo Xiu practiced were bought with money. For an ordinary civilian's family, purchasing the martial arts and martial arts would use up almost all the family's savings. Not everyone in this world can practice martial arts. More than half of the people do not have the qualifications and talents to practice martial arts. For civilians who want to get ahead, practicing martial arts is the only way. Therefore, from the day he entered the martial arts hall at the age of 10, Luo Xiu it is the hope of the whole family. In the process of practicing Mang Niu fist, the life veins diagram appeared in Luo Xiu's mind, and the internal energy movement route of the entire set of boxing techniques was clearly visible. Sure enough, martial arts can also be improved through the deduction of life vein diagrams. That after trying it, Luo Xiu was pleasantly surprised to find that his idea was indeed feasible, and he was excited. Bah, that he took a step forward, the wind roared from his fists, and his two fists were like the horns of a cow, and he fiercely smashed towards the wooden man's stake in front of him. Bang, that with an explosion, the wooden man's chest exploded with his fist, sending sawdust flying. The wooden mannequins in the martial arts arena of the martial palace are made of black iron wood. Without the strength of the third level of physical training, it is absolutely impossible to damage these wooden mannequins. As for Luo Xiu, his cultivation at this moment is still at the second level of body refining. Although the third level of body refining can destroy wooden dummies, it will never achieve this effect. At least the fourth level of body refining can do it. Looking at the effect he had caused with satisfaction, Luo Xiu's eyes lit up. Doesn't this mean that he can fight even against a fourth-level body-refining warrior? After the improvement of my martial arts, my strength has improved so much. Luo Xiu became more and more confident in his future martial arts training. Go away, everyone is fucking blind. Didn't you see Mr. Zhang coming? Arrogant and domineering voices came from the martial arts arena. Luo Xiu looked up and saw a few dandy boys swaggering around. Many people along the way swallowed their anger and did not dare to resist. Among these dandy boys, there was a young man in brocade clothes who was surrounded by them. Seeing this man, Luo Xiu couldn't help but narrowed his eyes. Hey, isn't this the despicable loser named Luo? How dare you show up here? Didn't you get beaten enough yesterday? Suddenly, an arrogant and wild laugh came, with sarcasm and disdain in the words. This sentence came from the mouth of the young man in brocade. At the same time, some martial arts students who were practicing martial arts not far away were also looking this way. This young man in golden clothes was Zhang Hao, who beat him yesterday. He had just said harsh words yesterday that he would beat Luo Xiu every time he saw him, so when he saw Luo Xiu in the martial arts field, he rushed up to him with a ferocious expression. If you want to seize the woman that I like, you don't even think about how many times I'll break you. If you're wise, kneel down first, crawl around here 3 times like a wild dog, and then come back. I'll let you go if I clean my shoes today. Zhang Hao pointed at Luo Xiu's nose, his smile gradually becoming ferocious. Luo Xiu stared at Zhang Hao in front of him without saying a word. Although he was used to being mediocre and used to facing the humiliation of these arrogant young masters, the unwillingness and anger from deep in his heart could not be suppressed, so much so that his whole body trembled. Damn it, kid, you're mute. Master Zhang was talking to you, didn't you hear? A follower behind Zhang Hao strode forward and slapped Luo Xiu directly on the left side of his face. These dudes have always been so arrogant. The man who attacked Luo Xiu was called Li Hai. He was from an average family, but he knew how to follow the crowd. He followed Zhang Hao all day long. He was also involved in the beating of Luo Xiu yesterday. I didn't expect that. Not only do you come from a lowly background, but you also have the brains of a pig. Mr. Zhang gave you the opportunity to kneel down and beg for mercy. Since you don't cherish this opportunity, I will beat you until you kneel down and beg for mercy. Li Hai raised his hand and said, seeing that this slap was about to hit Luo Xiu's face. At this moment, he suddenly felt a chill all over his body, as if he was being stared at by a savage beast, and his movements slowed down, snapped. It turned out that Luo Xiu, whose eyes were red, grabbed his hand. Why can't I resist? Why should I ask for mercy? Why do you have to kneel down when you are humiliated? Luo Xiu is no longer the same as before. Oh, you bitch, you dare to fight back. It seems like you didn't break enough ribs last time. I'm going to beat them one by one this time. Li Hai yelled angrily and kicked Luo Xiu's ribs. Chest. Luo Xiu moved his body to avoid the kick, grabbed the opponent's hand and twisted it hard, almost twisting Li Hai's arm into a twist on the spot. Ah! Li Hai immediately let out a howl like a slaughtering pig, and tears of pain were about to flow out. You bite people when you see them, and you spit shit out of your mouth. A guy like you insults a dog by saying you are a running dog. Luo Xiu snorted coldly, and then kicked Li Hai away. Li Hai held his dislocated arm and kept howling, with cold sweat breaking out on his painful forehead. Seeing this scene, the nearby martial arts students were all surprised, but then they all looked at Luo Xiu with pity in their eyes, because they know Zhang Hao and this group of playboys very well. When they bully you, the more you resist, the harder they will hit you. You little beast, you dare to hit one of my people. Zhang Hao's face darkened. He didn't expect Luo Xiu to dare to fight back, which made him feel embarrassed. Not only will I beat your people, but I will also beat you. Luo Xiu blew out 2 streams of white smoke from his nostrils, and he wanted to release all the anger that he had suppressed for a long time. The crowd was stunned and looked at Luo Xiu like an idiot. They really couldn't understand where this guy got the confidence to say such a thing. He also entered the martial hall at the age of 10 and practiced martial arts for 3 years. However, Zhang Hao came from a wealthy family and was already at the 4th level of body training, entering the realm of tempering muscles and bones. Moreover, he still practiced the 2nd level exercises and 3rd level martial arts purchased from the martial hall. Spent tens of thousands of taels of silver. But Zhang Hao, who was being targeted by Luo Xiu, couldn't relax at this time. He even had an illusion. Luo Xiu's eyes seemed to be able to penetrate the mystery of the essence of life in all things. This made Zhang Hao couldn't help but feel a little excited. He felt that this kid today very evil. In the past, Li Hai could easily defeat him by himself, but today he was defeated by him with one move. While he was thinking about it, Luo Xiu's figure moved. This time he took the initiative to attack, unfolding the reckless boxing technique and rushing directly towards Zhang Hao. If you open your mouth and keep silent, you are a piece of trash. Today I will let you taste what it feels like to be hammered by a piece of trash. Seeing Luo Xiu actually rushing toward him, several people around Zhang Hao couldn't help but take a half step back. Although Luo Xiu's strength was indeed not strong, his momentum was indeed a bit scary. You useless loser, do you think I can compare to that idiot just now? Zhang Hao felt that his dignity among the martial arts students had been challenged, and he roared angrily, bending his fingers into claws. The martial skill he performed was called Iron Eagle Claw, and it was a 3rd level martial skill. The claws were so strong that they were many times stronger than Li Hai just now. After displaying his unique skill, Zhang Hao felt that he could do it again. Bang! Luo Xiu's fist collided with the Iron Eagle Claw. In everyone's opinion, Luo Xiu's hand must be useless if the 1st level martial arts Magnia fist was against the 3rd level martial arts Iron Eagle Claw. The clicking sound of broken bones confirmed this to the crowd around him. Ah! Chapter 3 Cultivation Improvement. You are listening at novelfull.audio. However, to everyone's surprise, it was not Luo Xiu who screamed, but Zhang Hao. Zhang Hao was seen screaming and retreating. All 5 phalanges of his right hand were broken. With a look of disbelief on his face, everyone was stunned and couldn't understand what was going on. Only Luo Xiu himself knew what was going on. Theoretically, his cultivation level is lower than Zhang Hao's, his internal energy is not as good as his opponent's, and his martial arts skills are not as good as Zhang Hao's. However, after the improvement of his 1st level skills, it is equivalent to raising the level of the skills he practices to 2nd level skills. Even stronger than the 2nd grade, so even in a head-to-head confrontation, his inner energy is not much weaker than Zhang Hao's. Moreover, after merging the life and death pearl, Luo Xiu also has an ability, that is, his attacks can directly damage the opponent's life veins. There are 2 poles of qi, life and death. The qi of life can nourish and repair the veins of life, while the qi of death can damage and destroy the veins of life. Luo Xiu's inner energy can switch between the 2 extremes of life and death. This phenomenon is simply unbelievable, so it was only after Zhang Hao's seemingly powerful Iron Eagle claws collided with Luo Xiu's fist that all 5 fingers were broken. Injury will lead to damage to the life veins. On the contrary, if the life veins are directly damaged, it will show up in the body in the form of some kind of injury. Bang! Luo Xiu's feet hit the ground, causing dust to fly, and he unfolded his reckless bull fist. He was like an angry bullfight, moving forward inexorably and with great momentum. The broken phalanges on his right hand made Zhang Hao, who was accustomed to using force to overwhelm others, lose his bearings and retreated in shock and anger. Roll! Luo Xiu flew up and kicked Zhang Hao on the chest. The other person's body flew upside down like a kite with its string broken. Crack! There was another sound of bone cracking. Zhang Hao's ribs were broken twice. He fell to the ground and couldn't believe how things turned out like this. Just yesterday, he led a group of people to severely humiliate Luo Xiu, but today, everything was reversed. Ah! 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 The screams one after another continued to echo in the martial arts field. The martial arts students around them were all dumbfounded, and there was silence, and you could hear a needle drop. Mom, am I not blind? Is this person really Luo Xiu? Did he knock down Li Hai and Zhang Hao? Suddenly, many martial arts students in the martial arts field were in an uproar. Everyone was shocked and looked strange. One of Li Hai's arms was twisted into a knot, the bones were dislocated, and the meridians were damaged. Zhang Hao suffered more serious injuries. All 5 fingers of his right hand were broken and 2 of his ribs were broken. They had been beating up others since childhood, but today in front of many martial arts students in the martial arts arena, the 3 of them were knocked to the ground. What they couldn't accept the most was that the guy who had knocked him down to the point of losing face and feeling humiliated in front of many martial arts students turned out to be the same loser who was beaten by them yesterday. Little beast, if you dare to hit me, you are dead. The pain on his body made Zhang Hao's face become ferocious, and his eyes were full of hatred. You still dare to be harsh. It seems that I didn't strike hard enough. Luo Xiu snorted coldly, stepped forward and kicked him again. A pariah like you is worthy of comparing with me? I will definitely make you pay the price. Zhang Hao said with hatred. You dare to threaten me? Luo Xiu's eyes flashed with coldness, and he stepped on Zhang Hao's left wrist. There was another click, and the wrist bone was broken. At this moment, coupled with the original injury, Zhang Hao's eyes darkened and he fell into coma on the spot. Zhang Hao is used to being arrogant because of his superior family background. He will definitely take revenge on me after being beaten so violently by me today. It was pleasant to let out a breath of bad breath, but Luo Xiu would naturally think about the consequences of doing so. However, Luo Xiu has nothing to be afraid of. As long as his cultivation strength improves rapidly, he will definitely be valued and cultivated by Wu Jian. Even the Zhang family will not dare to confront Wu Jian, because everyone in the entire Yunlong County knows that behind the martial arts halls in major cities is the Xiaoyao Gate. Among the 13 sects of the 3 palaces and 6 sects, Xiaoyao sect is one of the 13 sections. In the land of Yunlong County, it is definitely the undoubted dominant force. After beating Zhang Hao severely, many martial arts students in the martial arts arena looked at Luo Xiu as if they were looking at monsters. How is this possible? Zhang Hao is at the 4th level of body refining, tempering muscles and bones, and Luo Xiu is at the 2nd level of body refining. It seems that Luo Xiu defeated Zhang Hao with just 2 moves. Everyone was stunned with disbelief on their faces. They could not connect the waste Luo Xiu with the Luo Xiu who was killing everyone in front of them. They could only watch Luo Xiu's figure gradually go away. The martial arts hall is very large, and each student has an independent residence. Luo Xiu returned to his room, and his excitement gradually cooled down. I just defeated a mere Zhang Hao. I can't be complacent because of this. It seems that Zhang Hao has an older brother who is a student in the intermediate class of Wujian. His cultivation level is at least the 5th level of physical training. There are 3 classes for Wujian students. The junior class is for those aged 10 to 13, the intermediate class is for those aged 14 to 16, and the advanced class is for those aged 17 to 18. Most students in the junior class are in the 1st to 4th level of physical training, while students in the intermediate class are at least the 5th level of physical training. If they do not reach the 5th level of physical training within the age limit, they will not repeat the grade, but will be kicked out of the martial arts directly. Temple, as for the students in the advanced class, they are limited to the 8th level of physical training. If they fail to meet the requirements, they will also be expelled from the martial arts palace. Luo Xiu is 13 years old this year. If he follows his previous cultivation speed, he will definitely not be able to reach the 5th level of body refining before the age of 14. Once he is expelled from the martial palace, he will not only be ridiculed by others, but also will be ridiculed. Disappointed parents who have emptied their family fortune by practicing martial arts. In 3 months, the annual assessment will begin. I must reach the 5th level of body refining to pass the assessment. During the practice, time passed unknowingly. During this period, Luo Xiu stayed at home and devoted himself to practice. After Zhang Hao's brother Zhang Hai learned about this incident, he always wanted to cause trouble for Luo Xiu, but the martial arts hall had regulations that students were not allowed to break into the residence, otherwise they would be severely punished. No one dares to disobey the rules of the martial hall. Even some students with extraordinary backgrounds will not be tolerated by the martial hall. Therefore, if Luo Xiu cannot come out, Zhang Hai has nothing to do. During this period of seclusion, Luo Xiu could clearly feel the changes in his body. By breathing in the energy of heaven and earth and condensing the energy of life and death in his body, his physique was continuously improved, and his cultivation speed was countless times faster than before. His body was like a bottomless pit. On the 2nd day of seclusion, he broke through to the 3rd level of body refining, and then began to use the polar energy of life and death to refine his muscles and bones. His cultivation was also overwhelming. 5 days later, Luo Xiu's strength improved again and he became a warrior at the 4th level of body refining. Without the life and death bead, my current cultivation speed would be unimaginable in my dreams. The power of this bead is beyond description in words. However, after reaching the 4th level of body training, Luo Xiu found that even the improved 1st level skills were much less effective, and they were no longer as fast as before. After thinking about it, Luo Xiu understood that this was because the foundation of the 1st level skills was too poor and the plasticity was limited. According to the rules of the martial palace, a martial artist who has reached the 4th level of body refining will be eligible to enter the library pavilion to select 2nd level martial arts. On this day, Luo Xiu walked out of his room. If he wanted to improve his cultivation faster, he needed higher quality techniques. You bitch, you finally dare to come out. As soon as he came out of the room, Luo Xiu saw a young man in brocade clothes staring at him fiercely. Where did the dog come from to bite people here? Luo Xiu didn't know the other person at all, but this person kept calling himself a bitch. Nowadays, Luo Xiu is not at the mercy of others. You dare to scold me? The young man in genie's face turned cold, with murderous intent flashing in his eyes. You can call me a bitch, why don't I dare to call you a beast? Do you think you are the proud son of heaven and are born superior to others? Luo Xiu sneered. The young man in genie became more murderous. You are very courageous, but for a low-born bastard like you, the more courageous you are, the faster you will die. Luo Xiu disagreed and sneered. Your brother was defeated by the trash in your mouth and was trampled under his feet. So who is your brother? As his brother, who are you? You are looking for death. A faint light flashed from the young man in brocade clothes, and a pressure rushed toward Luo Xiu. The inner energy glows. This is a manifestation that only a martial artist at the 7th level of body refining can have pure and strong inner energy. Just as Luo Xiu guessed, this young man in brocade is Zhang Hao's brother Zhang Hai. He was originally an outstanding figure among second-year students, but now he has reached the 7th level of body refining. Luo Xiu's eyes flashed. The 7th level body refining realm warriors were still quite difficult for him, but if they really fought, he wouldn't be afraid because they could directly damage the vital veins. The movement here also attracted many people, who gathered not far away and pointed. That person seems to be Zhang Hao's brother Zhang Hai. The light of his inner energy just emitted from his body shows that he is already a 7th level martial arts disciple. I heard that martial arts disciples at the 7th level of body refining are qualified to enter the library to select 3rd level martial arts. I'm really envious. Luo Xiu injured Zhang Hao a few days ago, and Zhang Hai personally took action. Luo Xiu is going to be in bad luck. Everyone's discussion was nothing more than admiration for Zhang Hai's strength. As for Luo Xiu, although he defeated Zhang Hao and others a few days ago, those opponents were not at the same level as Zhang Hai. It's time to take action. Chapter 4 Beautiful Teacher. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Everyone saw the light of inner energy emanating from Zhang Hai's body and knew clearly that this was a manifestation of the 7th level body refining realm martial artist's inner energy operating to the extreme. You crippled my brother's 2 hands and broke 2 of his ribs. I will cripple your limbs and break all of your ribs. Zhang Hai sneered and said, the martial palace has rules not to kill people, but as long as this kid is eliminated, a useless person who cannot practice martial arts is destined to be expelled. When the time comes, he will leave the martial palace and use the Zhang family's methods to crush to death a person with no background. The pariah is as easy as drinking water. Before he finished speaking, Zhang Hai took action directly, stepped out with 1 step, and slashed towards Luo Xiu's chest with a palm knife. The wind was strong and powerful. As soon as he saw Zhang Hai's intention to take action, Luo Xiu's face turned cold and he raised his arms to resist the opponent's attack. Bang! Luo Xiuji felt a sharp pain in the arm bones of both arms, and the strong force impact made him take a few steps back involuntarily. As expected of the 7th level of body refining, both speed and strength are much stronger than mine. Luo Xiu stabilized his body, his eyes were a little solemn, and his inner energy transformed into vitality to repair his life veins, and the severe pain in his arms gradually disappeared. Ha! He didn't fall down. You, a pariah, can injure my incompetent brother. It seems you have some skills. Zhang Hai frowned slightly. Not only was he at the 7th level of physical training, but he was also practicing at the 3rd level of martial arts. He was very surprised that he was not able to knock down Luo Xiu with 1 move. Of course, it was just a little unexpected. Zhang Hai had absolute confidence in his own strength. He snorted coldly and took action again, slamming the Iron Eagle Claw towards Luo Xiu's neck. It is also a 3rd level martial skill, Iron Eagle Claw. The effect of Zhang Hai's use is completely incomparable with that of Zhang Hao. The strong wind blows in his face extremely fast. Stop it! At this moment, an angry shout suddenly came. Hearing this voice, Zhang Hai stopped quickly, looked around, and saw a woman with a hot figure and a white tight-fitting military uniform walking over with a frosty face. Teacher Lu. When the surrounding martial arts students saw her, they all saluted. This woman's name is Lu Mengyao, one of the teachers at the Xuanhuan City Martial Hall, and a true warrior who has reached the Qi-Si realm in martial arts. With her graceful and voluptuous figure, slender legs, delicate and beautiful face, strong strength, and extremely high talent, Lu Mengyao is extremely popular in the Xuanhuan City Martial Hall. In front of teacher Wu Dian, Zhang Hai didn't dare to make any mistakes, so he didn't dare to continue to attack Luo Xiu. I've met teacher Lu. Zhang Hai and Luo Xiu also saluted at the same time. Your name is Zhang Hai, right? As a martial arts disciple at the 7th level of physical training in the intermediate class, you come to the junior class to show off your strength and bully the weak. Is this what a martial arts practitioner does? Lu Mengyao snorted coldly and frowned. Teacher Lu misunderstood, because this Luo Xiu injured my younger brother. As the elder brother, I naturally want to seek justice. Zhang Hai said confidently. Lu Mengyao glanced at Luo Xiu. In fact, she had never paid much attention to this student who had been unknown for 3 years and had no outstanding performance. Wu Dian also turns a blind eye to the fights between students, because this is a competition of survival of the fittest. However, Luo Xiu defeated Zhang Hao, who was very good in the junior class, in the martial arts field a few days ago, which surprised Lu Mengyao. The 4th level of body refining. Lu Mengyao noticed the fluctuations in Luo Xiu's internal energy. A few days ago, she clearly remembered that this student was still at the 2nd level of body refining. She was slightly shocked. Could it be that he has accumulated a lot of experience and discovered his talent in martial arts? Some people have very good martial arts talents, but they just don't know how to use them at first and cannot manifest them. But as time goes by, this talent will still show up and their strength will begin to improve rapidly. She felt that Luo Xiu might belong to this category. If he was really a good seedling, he could be well cultivated. Compared with those dandies who come from aristocratic families, Lu Mengyao values ordinary people who come from common people more. In order to get ahead, they are generally willing to put in several times the effort of others to practice hard. This kind of perseverance is not what some dandy with a superior life has to offer. What the children can do, being stared at by Lu Mengyao, Luo Xiu felt uncomfortable all over. It was the first time for a civilian student like him, with a low sense of presence, to be noticed by a teacher. As a teacher, I shouldn't interfere in the fights between students. Lu Mengyao withdrew her gaze, scanned the whole place, and said expressionlessly, but the justice and fairness of Wudian do not allow anyone to blaspheme. Her eyes fell on Zhang Hai. If you want to compete with Luo Xiu, I will not object. If Luo Xiu can enter the intermediate class in the assessment in 3 months, I will not interfere. But now, you will all go back and practice hard. At this moment, everyone present could hear that this beautiful teacher with a hot body and iceberg temperament was obviously favoring Luo Xiu. In the martial hall, bullying of lower grade students is most common in the advanced and intermediate classes. Zhang Hao dares to act rampant in the junior class of the martial hall because he has Zhang Hai's support above his head. As long as no one is killed, Zhang Hao will. Teacher Wu Dian never asked. Many people looked at Luo Xiu with envy, obviously because this guy defeated Zhang Hao a few days ago, gained the limelight, and attracted the teacher's attention. Zhang Hai clenched his fists, rather unwilling to take action now to destroy Luo Xiu, but given him 100 courages, he would not dare to disobey Lu Mengyao, because there have always been rumors in the martial hall that the origin of this teacher Lu is not simple. The other martial hall teachers and even the martial hall elders are very polite to her. Respectfully. Okay, in that case, I will come back to settle the score with him in 3 months. Zhang Hai glared at Luo Xiu, then saluted Lu Mengyao and strode away. A small turmoil came to an end temporarily because of Lu Mengyao's appearance, but everyone knew that this matter was not over. Zhang Hai is at the 7th level of body refining, and Luo Xiu is still at the 5th level of body refining, even if he enters the intermediate class in the assessment 3 months later. There is still a big gap between the two. Thank you, Teacher Lu. Luo Xiu thanked Lu Mengyao. Even if there was a real fight, he was not afraid of Zhang Hai, but Teacher Lu did deliberately favor him just now, and Luo Xiu was still very grateful. Lu Mengyao smiled and nodded. Being able to accumulate at critical moments shows that you still have some potential. Practice hard and try to pass the assessment in 3 months. If Luo Xiu practiced at his previous speed, he would definitely not be able to pass the upgrade test. Seeing that the test was about to take place, he had already accumulated a lot of experience to break through 2 small realms one after another, so Lu Mengyao noticed him and helped him. As soon as the words fell, Lu Mengyao turned and left, and the other students watching nearby went to do whatever they were supposed to do. Looking at Lu Mengyao's leaving figure, Luo Xiu frowned slightly. Just now he saw the life veins of Teacher Lu. His life aura was sometimes strong and sometimes low, especially the position of his heart veins seemed to be a bit wrong. This is the first time Luo Xiu has seen the life veins of Qi Si realm warriors. The life veins of body refining realm warriors and ordinary people exude a faint white light, while the life veins of Qi Si realm warriors emit blue light. Luo Xiu knew that this was because warriors at the Qi Si realm were far more powerful than warriors at the body refining realm, and their life veins were stronger. Even if he attacked with all his strength, he could not damage the opponent's life veins. Compared to the strong ones in the Qi Si realm, I am still very weak. I can't be complacent just because I have special abilities. Luo Xiu's eyes became firmer and he walked towards the Martial Palace Library. The library pavilion is where the Martial Palace contains many martial arts, so it is naturally an important place that is not allowed to be entered casually. In addition to the martial master level elders in the Xiantian realm who are in charge, some martial arts students will also work part-time to guard the library, and they can get some silver income every month. Stop, don't rush into the important place of the library pavilion. In front of the door of the library pavilion, two martial arts students stopped Luo Xiu. Luo Xiu frowned, looked at the few figures who entered the library just now, and said, "Why didn't I see you stopping those people? What qualifications do you have to compare with those young masters from aristocratic families? They come to the library either to buy martial arts, or to choose martial arts when their cultivation level meets the requirements. You, a second-level body refining disciple, get away." That the person who spoke was a student in the intermediate class and a martial arts disciple at the 5th level of body refining. His name was Wang Hui. He was a neighbor of Luo Xiu's family, so he was naturally no stranger to him. Wang Hui is slightly older than Luo Xiu, already 15 years old. He followed Xuanhuan when he was in the junior class and got some benefits. Otherwise, given his civilian background, it would be difficult to advance to the intermediate class. The reason why he stopped Luo Xiu and spoke harshly was because he heard that Luo Xiu had injured Zhanghui's younger brother Zhanghao. "Because our two families are neighbors, I advise you to go to Mr. Zhang to apologize. Otherwise, not only will you be unlucky, but your parents and your sister will also suffer." Wang Hui raised his nostrils to the sky, looking at Luo Xiu with a condescending attitude. He doesn't think there is anything shameful about following Zhanghai. This is called a man who knows the current affairs. Even if he is too old to enter the advanced class and has to leave the martial arts hall, he will still be able to join the Zhang family tree. So he is the Luo Xiu who beat up young Master Zhang. He is usually very secretive and hidden. Another intermediate class student with Wang Hui also said in a sinister manner, with sarcasm in his words. And disdain. According to the rules of the martial palace, the 4th level of body training can enter the library to choose martial arts. Do you want to break the rules of the martial palace? Luo Xiu was too lazy to pay attention to these two villains who were following the crowd and asked coldly. 4th level of body refining? Wang Hui laughed loudly, speaking of Luo Xiu, "You don't even know who you are when you brag. Don't I understand you? A few days ago, you were still at the 2nd level of body refining. I don't know what tricks you used. You hurt Mr. Zhang and you really treat yourself like a green onion. Then open your dog eyes and see clearly, that while speaking, Luo Xiu was running his exercises, and his body was emitting the internal energy fluctuations of a 4th level body refining warrior, and his muscles and bones were making crisp sounds, which was obviously a sign that he had entered the realm of muscle refining and bone tempering." Wang Hui's laughter stopped abruptly. "This is impossible. How could your cultivation improve so quickly?" Wang Hui exclaimed, and then his face turned cold. "So what if you are at the 4th level of body refining? If I say I won't let you in, I won't let you in. Enter." Luo Xiu's eyes flashed sharply. "You dare to break the rules of the martial palace?" "Rules?" Wang Hui smiled coldly. "The rules also depend on who they are for. To tell you the truth, if it were before, considering that you and I were neighbors, I would naturally let you in, but you actually went against Mr. Zhang, you can't even enter the library door. Yes, I heard that you injured Mr. Zhang's brother, so I just took you down and handed you over to Mr. Zhang." Another intermediate class student who was guarding the scripture pavilion with Wang Hui said with a sneer. Before he finished speaking, he directly reached out and grabbed Luo Xiu by the collar. Moreover, he was very confident in his own strength. With the strength of a 5th level body refining warrior, it would not be a problem to win over a junior class student. Since the opponent was seeking death, Luo Xiu didn't waste any time, shouted loudly, and punched out with a fierce punch, as if there was a sound like a cow mooing, and he roared out with ferocious power. Chapter 5 Library. You are listening at novelfull.audio. You are so courageous, you actually dare to fight back. I, Lu Feng, want you to know how big the difference is between the 5th level and the 4th level of body refining, that this Lu Feng, like Wang Hui, is an intermediate class student who follows Zhanghai and hopes to join the Zhang family tree. There are many people like them, who know that their martial arts qualifications are not very good, and the intermediate class is the limit. It is impossible to advance to the advanced class. When the time comes, they can enter the intermediate class of the martial palace with the 5th and 6th levels of body training. After graduation, you can also enter the Zhang family and get good treatment. That's why these two people work so hard to please the Zhang family. The commotion here also attracted the attention of some students who were planning to enter the library. Many people were worried about Luo Xiu. The person who took action was Lu Feng, who was at the 5th level of physical training in the intermediate class and a student in the junior class. How can you resist it? Bang! The fist and palm collided together, making a dull sound. Lu Feng's figure suddenly stiffened, and then his lips trembled and his face turned pale. Ah! A painful howl came from Lu Feng's mouth. The sound was sharp and harsh. He turned pale and retreated. His entire right arm was pulled down, especially the bones in his right hand, which were all shattered. Lu Feng. Wang Hui's expression changed. He didn't expect that his companion at the 5th level of body refining would be defeated by Luo Xiu with one move. I saw Lu Feng howling in pain, and the pain of broken bones made his whole body tremble uncontrollably. Luo Xiu's face was expressionless. Breaking the rules of the martial palace and preventing me from entering the library is your own fault. While speaking, Luo Xiu looked at Wang Hui with cold eyes. Are you going to stop me now? Although the cultivation level of these two people is one level higher than his own, Luo Xiu now does not pay attention to the 5th level of body refining of these two intermediate classes at all. Feeling that Luo Xiu's gaze was like a tiger preying on people, Wang Hui felt as if he had fallen into an ice cellar. Cold sweat broke out, and he felt a little out of breath, but remembering that Zhang Hai was supporting him, Wang Hui managed to calm down and shouted angrily, Luo Xiu, you are so brave. Not only did you break into the library without permission, but you also launched a sneak attack and injured the guard. Xuanhuan Martial Palace, how can we allow this beast to be so rampant? These words were lies, and Wang Hui's energy circulated throughout his body, and he was filled with righteous indignation. I have seen shameless people, but I have never seen anyone as shameless as you. Everyone present can testify that it was clearly you who broke the rules first, and you actually bit me back and pretended to be righteous. Luo Xiu's question. The voice is getting colder and colder. That's right, the intermediate class is amazing. Luo Xiu is clearly at the 4th level of body training. According to the rules, he can enter the library to choose martial arts, but they don't let Luo Xiu in. That's right, they are just scoundrels who look down on others and do whatever they want with the support of the big family behind them. But Luo Xiu is really powerful. A martial artist at the 5th level of body training in the intermediate class can't catch his punch. The buzz around him made Wang Hui's face look even more ugly. He knew very well that he did not occupy a rational position, but if Luo Xiu was eliminated, Wu Dian would definitely not do anything to him for a disabled person. Not to mention that he still has Zhang Hai as his backer. Thinking about this, he became jealous and said angrily, Luo Xiu, you actually dare to spit on people, crazy wolf fist. He rushed towards Luo Xiu in a flash and punched out, as if a violent hungry wolf was roaring. The momentum was amazing. Since you are obstructing me in every possible way, then create a way for yourself today and get out of my way. Luo Xiu was tired of these two annoying guys arguing endlessly, so he punched the opponent's fist. The wind of the punch hit the opponent's hardest bone, head-on. The moment the two fists collided together, Wang Hui suddenly let out a sharp scream. Ah, my hands! It was like he was hit by a running truck, and he flew into the Sutra Pavilion. In front of Luo Xiu, there was no longer any obstacle, and the road leading to the Buddhist scripture cave was blasted open by him. What's happening here? Everyone was stunned again. Lu Feng and Wang Hui were both at the 5th level of body training, and their strength was definitely much stronger than the 4th level. However, they both suffered heavy losses at the hands of Luo Xiu with just one move. Luo Xiu's fists must be made of iron. There must be something wrong with it. The Magnia boxing is just a first-grade martial art. When did it become so powerful? Everyone was shocked. With the eyesight of these martial arts students, they naturally couldn't see that there was any mystery behind it. Now I want to enter the library. Do you still have any objections? Luo Xiu didn't bother to look at the two people who were wailing like dead dogs on the ground, and stepped forward. Luo Xiu, don't be too arrogant. If you offend Mr. Zhang, you won't get any good results. Wang Hui gritted his teeth and screamed inwardly. In front of the library door, Luo Xiu saw an old man with white hair and beard sitting cross-legged. The old man had closed his eyes and ignored the previous conflict he had with Wang Hui and Lu Feng. Conflicts and battles between Wujian students are actually a kind of unspoken rule of survival of the fittest in Wujian. As long as no lives are lost, Wujian will never intervene. This old man is the elder of Wujian who is responsible for guarding the library pavilion. In Luo Xiu's eyes, the life veins on this old man's body showed a rich blue light. Xiantian Realm Martial Arts Master. Luo Xiu's eyes were sharp. Through his life veins, he could feel that this martial arts elder contained a powerful force in his body, which was far beyond that of Mr. Lu, a Qihai Realm martial artist. Junior class student Luo Xiu pays homage to the elder. Luo Xiu saluted and said, "My cultivation level has reached the 4th level of body refining, and I want to enter the library to select the 2nd level martial arts." The elder of Wujian slowly opened his eyes, his gaze fell on Luo Xiu, nodded, and said, "Go in." "Thank you, elder." Luo Xiu responded, then turned around and entered the library. The previous conflicts between Luo Xiu, Lu Feng, and Wang Hui were all seen by the martial hall elder. It was not uncommon for the 4th level of body refining to defeat the 5th level of body refining, so he did not pay too much attention to the innate realm cultivation. For him, the level of the body refining realm is still too low to attract his attention. There are many martial arts collected in the Martial Palace Library. It is said that the highest level of martial arts reaches the 4th level. Only the best among the students of the Martial Palace are qualified to practice it. For Luo Xiu, 4th level martial arts is still relatively far away. In the past, 2nd level martial arts was already his current goal. With Luo's cultivation level of the 4th level, he can choose martial arts, internal strength, martial arts, and body skills in the 1st level, and he can choose one from each. On the 1st floor, Luo Xiu saw some martial arts students, all of whom entered the library to choose martial arts. Splitting wind palm, tiger fist, catkin movement, windward step. There are all kinds of martial arts secret books, and the variety is dazzling. All martial arts secret books are divided into categories, including Kung Fu area, martial arts area, and body technique area. The first thing Luo Xiu looked at was the exercise area. Most of them were first-grade exercises, and there were only a few second-grade exercises. The low-level exercises are generally similar. Luo Xiu chose one of the most popular 2nd-level internal skills, the muscle-changing and bone-forging technique. This technique is most suitable for martial arts disciples who are in the stage of muscle and bone refining, and can reach the 6th level of body refining. Some of the meridians and acupuncture points involved have greater plasticity and room for improvement than the 1st-level basic internal skills Luo Xiu had practiced before. Then Luo Xiu came to the martial arts area. The practice of martial arts emphasizes step by step. Because he had the foundation of practicing Magni of Fist before, the 2nd-level martial arts Luo Xiu chose was also a boxing method called Dragon Tiger Fist. This boxing technique follows a fierce path, with great power and astonishing explosive power. It can also be ranked among the top ranks of 2nd-level martial arts. Many students in the martial arts hall also practice it, but those who can truly practice this boxing technique to a high level, there are not many people in this realm. For the movement technique, Luo Xiu chose Zunbu, which is a movement technique that moves quickly between square inches. It is simple to practice, but it is difficult to practice it to a high level. After selecting the 3 second-grade martial arts, Luo Xiu was quite satisfied. Luo Xiu, at this moment, a soft and light voice suddenly came. Luo Xiu looked around and saw a girl in a blue dress looking at him. "Miss Lu." Luo Xiu smiled and nodded as a greeting. This girl in a blue skirt is Lu Yusin, who used to be Luo Xiu's crush, but in the past, he was a 2nd-level body refiner in the junior class, while she was a 6th-level body refiner in the intermediate class. It was also because of her that Luo Xiu offended Zhang Hao, which triggered various subsequent conflicts. In the past, Luo Xiu would have been a little submissive and inferior when he saw her, but the fusion of the life and death pearl gave him great confidence. His mentality when facing Luo Xiu now was different from the past. Luo Xiu also looked at Luo Xiu in surprise. I didn't expect you to be at the 4th level of body refining. I remember you were at the 2nd level of body refining a few days ago. It was just a lucky break. Luo Xiu said with a smile. But the assessment will be held in 3 months. If you can't reach the 5th level of body refining, what are your plans? Luo Xiu smiled softly. If you don't have a good place to go, you can come to our Luo family. How about I arrange for you to be a bodyguard? The Luo family's bodyguard. Luo Xiu looked a little weird. I looked at Luo Xiu and suddenly understood what he meant. It must have been that time when Xuanhuan pestered her and stood up for her that he was beaten. Luo Xiu felt that she would not be able to pass the assessment in 3 months, so she planned to find a way out for him. If it were before, Luo Xiu might have really considered the other party's opinion, but now, Luo Xiu didn't take the assessment 3 months later at all. Thank you Miss Lu for your kindness. I will pass the assessment in 3 months. Luo Xiu said lightly. His expression was filled with a kind of confidence that could not be described in words, which made Luo Xiu slightly surprised. You ungrateful thing, can you reach the 5th level of body refining in just 3 months? Chapter 6, Beating Up the Black Stone Monument. You are listening at novelfull.audio. A disdainful and indifferent voice came, and a young man in a white shirt came over and stood next to Luo Xiu. Luo Xiu saw a trace of evil in the eyes of the young man in white shirt looking at him. Do I know you? Luo Xiu frowned. The young man in white shirt snorted coldly, his face full of arrogance. Of course you don't know me, because you are not qualified to know me at all. Since I don't know you, you say I'm ungrateful as soon as you come up. Who are you? Luo Xiu sneered. A sharp coldness flashed in the eyes of the young man in white shirt, but then a playful smile appeared at the corner of his mouth. No wonder you, a humble pariah, dare to go against the Zhang brothers. You are indeed very courageous. But I advise you to know your identity clearly. It is impossible for you Xian to have any interaction with a pariah like you. The young man in white shirt said in a strong tone, with sharp eyes and a threatening meaning. Luo Xiu glanced at Luo Xiu. This woman was very beautiful. If you really want to talk about it, his secret love and liking for Luo Xiu was more of an appreciation of beautiful things. With the pearl of life and death, Luo Xiu believed that his future achievements would never be limited to a small Xuanhuan city. After experiencing one incident after another, he also discovered that in this world, without strong strength, everything would be impossible. It is false, therefore, what Luo Xiu wants to pursue in his heart is peerless martial arts. As long as he has enough power, what kind of woman can't get it? Moreover, the young man in white shirt was aggressive and mocked and belittled her with disdain, but Luo Xiu remained silent. Does it mean that she actually thought so in her heart? Su Fei, stop talking. Luo Xiu frowned and said, Luo Xiu is the person who helped me. I don't allow you to talk about him like this. Then she looked at Luo Xiu and said, if you fail to pass the assessment in 3 months, I will write you a letter of introduction. You can take it to Lu's house and someone will make arrangements for you. While speaking, she took out a delicate letter from her sleeve and handed it to Luo Xiu. Luo Xiu burst out laughing. She was the eldest daughter of the Lu family. If he went to her house to work as a bodyguard, would it be regarded as a disguised rejection, letting him know the difference in status between him and her? From the way Luo Xiu looked at him, Luo Xiu could understand some obscure meanings. No, thank you for your kindness. Luo Xiu refused without hesitation, pointed to the 3 martial arts secret books in his arms, and said, I have to go back to practice, so I'm leaving. As soon as he finished speaking, he walked towards the door of the library without looking back. Luo Xiu was slightly startled. Her beautiful eyes flashed thoughtfully. Su Fei, a young man in white shirt, snorted disdainfully. Xiu, what do you care about this untouchable? Luo Xiu shook her head. Maybe I hurt his self-esteem by doing this. Self-esteem? Su Fei was even more disdainful. Does a useless pariah have the right to talk about self-esteem? After registering with the elder guarding the library, Luo Xiu walked out of this place that contains many martial arts secrets with 3 martial arts secret books in his arms. The annual assessment will be held in 3 months. Students aged 14 and 17 must take the assessment. Those who fail will be expelled from the martial palace. In his room, Luo Xiu calmed down his mind, visualized the life venation diagram in his mind, and performed the Yi Jin Gu Tinggong. The first thing he has to do is to improve this second-grade skill. It took 2 days for Luo Xiu to finally complete the improvement of the Yi Jin bone forging technique, and it had reached its limit and could not continue to improve. Then Luo Xiu began to practice according to the improved technique. The vitality of heaven and earth gathered on his body surface, forming a hazy white mist. After the vitality entered the body, Luo Xiu would feel the throbbing of his soul, under the influence of the life and death pearl. Next, the vitality absorbed into the body will be transformed into the bipolar energy of life and death. The 4th to 6th levels of body refining belong to the stage of refining the muscles and quenching the bones. The 2 poles of life and death are refined into the muscles and bones. While strengthening the muscles and bones, the internal energy is also stored in the muscles and bones, so that they can be used as desired during battle. Transfer, therefore, the higher the cultivation level of a warrior in the body refining realm, the richer the inner energy and the stronger the power. There is no sun or moon in cultivation. This time of retreat is much better than the previous one, and it lasts for a month in the blink of an eye. In just a few days before, he had broken through from the 2nd level of body refining to the 4th level of body refining, but the speed of his cultivation began to slow down. On the one hand, it is because the higher the cultivation level, the more difficult it is to improve. On the other hand, it is also because Luo Xiu, unlike those disciples from aristocratic families, has better conditions for chain cultivation. Slowly opening his eyes, Luo Xiu felt the cultivation in his body and mused, "It took me a month to finally reach the 5th level of body refining. If I can be like those disciples of the aristocratic family, taking pills and using formations, I can reach the 5th level in a month. In the time required, I can at least reach the 6th level of body refining." The cultivation level has been improved. The next step is martial arts and body skills. Luo Xiu walked down from the bed and began to practice the 2nd level martial arts dragon and tiger fist in the room. The wind of the fist was fierce, and there seemed to be the roar of dragons and tigers. The power was much more powerful than the Mangni of fist in the past, but Luo Xiu was not satisfied. He visualized the life vein diagram in his mind to further improve this martial skill. The inner energy of the 2 poles of life and death circulates in the skin, flesh and muscles. The mystery of life and the horror of death contain some profound truth, which is imprinted on his body and soul. This feeling is very wonderful. Roar! Luo Xiu ran like a tiger pouncing on its prey, with a hazy black light rising from his body and a breath of death filling the air, as if he had really transformed into a tiger, ready to tear the target into pieces. Bang! The wooden table in the room could not withstand the force, and it broke into pieces in an instant, with wood chips flying everywhere. Luo Xiu stopped and saw a concave fist mark on the wall, with some small cracks around it. You know, the buildings in the martial arts hall are all made of hard rocks, and they cannot be destroyed without the power of the 7th level of body training. What a powerful force! Luo Xiu looked at the fist marks and cracks on the wall, his face full of excitement. This effect can definitely be compared with the power of the 3rd-grade martial arts. The Dragon Tiger Fist is divided into the Tiger style and the Tinglong style. The power of the Tinglong style is even stronger than the Tiger style. I wonder what effect it can cause. Thinking of this, Luo Xiu pushed open the door and went to the martial arts field. In addition to martial arts, there is also a step-by-step body movement that needs to be practiced. After all, the space in the room is too small. Bang! 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 In the black stone area of the martial arts arena, a young man in black clothes is waving his fists in front of a black stone tablet. Every time a punch lands on the black stone, it makes a dull sound and leaves a shallow dent. The black stone tablet here is made of a material called black stone. The black stone is very strong. Only a martial artist who has reached the 6th level of physical training can leave a mark on the black stone, and the black stone has another characteristic, which is that it will automatically repair itself. Don't look at the bumps on it now. After a few hours, it will be smooth and calm again. Brother Zhao Liang is so powerful, he is worthy of being a master in the intermediate class. I wish I had such a powerful strength. Near the black-clothed boy, several crazy girls would exclaim and shout from time to time. Luo Xiu had also heard of this black-clothed boy, Zhao Liang, who was a student in the intermediate class. He came from a wealthy family and was the same age as Luo Xiu, but he had already been promoted to the intermediate class last year and was expected to reach the 8th level of body refining before the age of 17 and enter the advanced class. Those who could be promoted to the advanced class were all elites of the Xuanhuan City Martial Hall. They would be trained with emphasis, and it was also the dream place pursued by every student who entered the Martial Hall. There were many stone tablets in the black stone area. Luo Xiu also chose an unused stone tablet and walked over. However, as soon as he arrived here, he attracted the attention of some people. Who is that person? He actually came to the black stone area to practice. Could he also be a master of the intermediate class? Someone pointed at Luo Xiu and said, because those who came here to practice on weekdays were all martial artists above the 6th level of body refining. This person seems to be from the primary class. I heard that he has become quite popular recently. He also beat 2 intermediate class 5th level body refining people in front of the library. Someone recognized Luo Xiu's identity. Ah! A guy from the primary class actually beat up someone from the intermediate class. Some people who had never heard of Luo Xiu couldn't help but be full of curiosity. Without the strength of the 6th level of physical training, you can't leave the slightest mark on the black stone. Do you really think that you are a master just because you defeated 2 5th level physical training people? Some people also looked at Luo Xiu with sarcasm and disdain. The discussion of the crowd also made Zhao Liang, who was practicing boxing, hear the noise and look at Luo Xiu. The black stone area is not a place for the trash of the elementary class to come. Zhao Liang said with a little arrogance and impoliteness. Luo Xiu didn't take it seriously and punched the black stone tablet in front of him. This guy is so ignorant, let's see how he makes a fool of himself. That's right, does he think he is a master like Brother Zhao Liang? Bang! The fist collided with the black stone tablet. This punch was powerful and heavy. Luo Xiu did not use any martial arts, nor did he use internal energy to bless it. A shallow dent appeared on the stone tablet, which was not much different from the mark left on the stone tablet by Zhao Liang's attack just now. Luo Xiu nodded secretly. Since fusing the life and death pearl, not only his cultivation level has improved rapidly, but also his physical fitness seems to be undergoing some kind of transformation and sublimation. His physical strength alone can be comparable to the 6th level of physical training. At the same time, those students in the martial arts hall who were ready to laugh at him and laugh at Luo Xiu suddenly seemed to have their throats choked, and the smiles on their faces froze. Zhao Liang also frowned. A waste in the elementary class in his eyes could actually achieve the same level as himself, which made him feel very embarrassed. He must have raised his internal energy to the extreme just now, and then used boxing martial arts, so that he could leave a mark on the black stone tablet. Yes, I think so too. Otherwise, how could he, a kid in the junior class, achieve this level? Don't you think so, Brother Zhao Liang? Hearing someone asking him, Zhao Liang put his hands behind his back, looking like an expert instructing others, and said, "You are right in your guess. Even if I want to leave a mark on the black stone tablet, I have to use the internal energy to bless it." Brother Zhao Liang said so. This Luo Xiu must have borrowed the power of martial arts to create this effect. What kind of skill is borrowing martial arts? It's embarrassing. However, before these people finished speaking, Luo Xiu punched the black stone tablet again. In this punch, he still did not use martial arts, but blessed the internal energy of the 2 poles of life and death. Bang! This punch was so powerful that the black stone tablet, which was originally as solid as a rock, shook a little. Everyone looked closely. Chapter 7 You Kneel down. You are listening at novelfull.audio. A clear fist mark appeared on the black stone tablet, making everyone not far away, including Zhao Liang, stare blankly and unable to believe their eyes. A smile appeared on Luo Xiu's face, and he was quite satisfied with the effect of his second punch. A warrior at the 6th level of body refining can leave shallow traces on the black stone tablet, but to achieve this effect, at least the 7th level of body refining can be done. This shows that his strength is comparable to the 7th level of body refining. Boy, showing off your martial arts skills here is nothing. If you have the ability, don't try it. Zhao Liang frowned and shouted, feeling that Luo Xiu was undoubtedly stealing his limelight by doing this. Why should I listen to you? Luo Xiu glanced at the other party lightly. You don't dare to try, it proves that you don't have the ability. Since you don't have the ability, don't embarrass yourself here. Zhao Liang said forcefully. It's just, I don't know where I learned a powerful martial arts. What's there to show off? Martial skills do not represent strength. Some people have some abilities, but they don't know how to show off everywhere. It's really disgusting. Many other people nearby also echoed, showing contempt for Luo Xiu. Luo Xiu couldn't help but laugh. He was really speechless about the logic of these martial arts students. Boy, why are you laughing? Zhao Liang snorted coldly. I laugh at you guys for being so self-righteous, looking higher than your head, and laughing at others because of your poor abilities. Luo Xiu said disdainfully. Presumptuous. Who do you think is weak? Zhao Liang's face turned cold, especially the disdain in Luo Xiu's eyes, which made him even more angry. The aura of the 6th level of body refining made some people nearby feel depressed. I'm telling you, what can you do? Luo Xiu was not afraid of the opponent's aura at all, and the fluctuations of his internal energy also spread from his body. Boy, you are so crazy. I heard that Zhang Hai planned to teach you a lesson last time, but Teacher Lu came to the rescue later. Otherwise, you would have been destroyed long ago. Zhao Liang sneered and walked towards Luo Xiu. You just said that I have no ability, do you dare to take a gamble with me? What are you betting on? Luo Xiu frowned. Of course it's a competition to see who can leave deeper marks on the black stone tablet. Weren't you crazy just now? Do you dare to compete? Zhao Liang said arrogantly and confidently. That's right, you, a rubbish from the junior class, dare to show off. If you have the ability, just compete with Zhao Liang. A guy like him who shows off his little skills everywhere, if he can beat Zhao Liang, I will eat the black stone tablet. That the people nearby started to boo, and their words were unabashedly mocking and belittling Luo Xiu. A sneer appeared on the corner of Luo Xiu's mouth and he said, what about the bet? Seeing that Luo Xiu actually agreed, Zhao Liang couldn't help but be stunned. He originally thought that Luo Xiu would give up because of fear. I don't think a poor guy like you can afford to gamble, so it's better to have the loser kowtow to the winner and admit his mistake. Zhao Liang said this. He was sure that Luo Xiu would not be able to compare with him. After all, he is at the 6th level of body training and has practiced 3rd level martial arts. If he attacks with all his strength, he can definitely leave clear marks, and Luo Xiu is just a poor boy with a humble background. He only practices 2nd grade martial arts at most, and his cultivation level is lower than his own. There is no reason why he can beat him. The movement happening here attracted many people to watch. They spread the news to 10 and hundreds. When they heard that someone wanted to compete with Zhao Liang, more and more people came over. Okay, I agree. Luo Xiu agreed immediately. The other party was so aggressive, and he had no intention of being polite. He wanted Zhao Liang to experience the consequences of provoking him. At the same time, Luo Xiu also planned to use this matter to establish his authority, so that on the one hand, some people would not dare to trouble him, and on the other hand, the better he performed, the easier it would be to attract the attention of the teachers and elders of the martial hall. Boy, you are dead. Zhao Liang laughed wildly, his inner energy circulated, and he suddenly shouted, open your eyes and see clearly. Luo Guang fist. Zhao Liang's fists emitted a faint light. Generally, only the 7th level of body training can make the inner energy shine. It can be seen that the martial arts he performed must be a high-level martial arts, and the martial arts he practiced must be at least the third level. Boom! The black stone tablet shook, and a dull sound came out. Zhao Liang struck with all his strength, and his fist left a clear mark on the stone tablet. Amazing! The crowd watching nearby screamed. I just saw the light of inner energy emitting from Zhao Liang's fist, which shows that his attack is comparable to the 7th level of body refining. Well, although it is still not comparable to the real 7th level of body refining, it is not far behind. It seems that Zhao Liang's cultivation level should be about to break through. People were shocked, and at the same time they were envious of Zhao Liang's martial arts talent. In martial arts training, talent is very important. With the same time and the same resources, some people's 10 years of training may not be as good as a genius's 1 year of training. Not only that, for the same martial arts, people with high talents are more likely to understand the secrets and display them with greater power. Trash, it's your turn, wait and kowtow to me to admit your mistake. Zhao Liang looked at Luo Xiu proudly. On the black stone tablet, 2 fist marks are clearly visible. One is the fist mark made by Luo Xiu before, and the other is the fist mark made by Zhao Liang with all his strength just now. However, Zhao Liang's fist mark is clearer and more concave than Luo Xiu's. Deeper, Luo Xiu was too lazy to talk nonsense. Tiger style, with a soft drink, he suddenly moved, and with the momentum of a tiger descending from the mountain, he punched the black stone tablet. This is, Dragon Tiger Fist. I heard that although Dragon and Tiger Fist is a second-grade martial arts, many people practice it just for its own sake without any charm. Looking at the posture Luo Xiu displays, it seems that he has understood the essence of it. No way. This kid has such a high talent for martial arts. Luo Xiu's performance also aroused a lot of surprises. Bang! The tiger style bombarded the black stone tablet, and the fierce wind of the fist struck and swept away, bringing up a cloud of dust, full of power. Everyone stared at this moment, wanting to see how powerful Luo Xiu's punch was. The next moment, there was silence. How is this possible? That when Zhao Liang saw the fist mark on the black stone tablet, he was stunned, and his mood sank to the bottom in an instant. Look, the fist mark left by Luo Xiu looks like a tiger's head. Someone exclaimed. Really? Others stared curiously. Holy crap, it actually looks like a roaring tiger's mouth. Oh my god, did I read that right? I heard that only by understanding the essence of Dragon Tiger Fist and Tiger Style can we achieve this effect. There are 2 styles of Dragon Tiger Fist, and there is another style called Tinglong Style. I wonder if he has mastered it. The crowd exclaimed and marveled. At this moment, everyone looked at Luo Xiu, no longer with disdain and ridicule, but with deep shock. Zhao Liang was also completely stunned. There was no comparison between the marks he had just left on the black stone tablet and the tiger head fist print left by Luo Xiu using the Dragon Tiger Fist and Tiger Style. This is impossible. Even a 7th level body refining warrior cannot make such a deep fist mark. Zhao Liang couldn't believe it, and his lips trembled a little. At this moment, many martial arts students who were originally on Zhao Liang's side looked at him with a trace of pity in their eyes. In this gambling competition, who is strong and who is weak has been determined. Senior brother Zhao Liang, according to our previous bet agreement, shouldn't you kowtow and admit your mistake now? Luo Xiu said with a sneer. He didn't provoke Zhao Liang from the beginning, but the other party felt that he had stolen his limelight and became aggressive. He even proposed a contest of kowtow and admit his mistakes, determined to make him unable to hold his head up for the rest of his life. Boy named Luo, don't go too far. Zhao Liang said with a gloomy expression. You proposed the bet, are you going to regret it? Everyone is watching you. Luo Xiu sneered. As the saying goes, those who humiliate others will always humiliate them. Luo Xiu knew very well that even if he let Zhao Liang go today, the other party would not only not be grateful to him, but would also hate him. Good martial arts training does not mean that you are strong. You'd better not push yourself too far. Zhao Liang had a ruthless look in his eyes. Yes, Luo Xiu, since you have already won, why are you still forcing yourself to fight? We are all students of the martial palace. We don't look up when we meet each other. It would be too much if you really want Zhao Liang to kowtow and admit his mistake. Among the crowd of onlookers, some people who usually had a good relationship with Zhao Liang spoke up. Luo Xiu's eyes were cold, he glanced at the people who were talking, and sneered, if I were the loser, would you let me go? That when these people were glanced at by Luo Xiu, they couldn't help but take 2 steps back. In fact, everyone present was not a fool, but no one stood up to say a word to Luo Xiu, but they didn't want to offend Zhao Liang. I'll destroy you. That when Luo Xiu was intimidating those people, Zhao Liang, who was standing opposite him, suddenly took action with a ferocious face. His arms were like 2 pythons, intertwined with each other, and the inner energy was flowing, fierce and clever. This is clearly another third-grade martial art, double python fist. Although it is not as powerful as Luo Guang fist, it is extremely fast and hard to guard against. He made up his mind that he would never kowtow and admit his mistake. As long as Luo Xiu was deposed, even if he would be shamed, it would be better than being unable to hold his head up for the rest of his life. Tamrin style, with an angry shout, Luo Xiu circulated his inner energy to the extreme, jumped up, avoided the vital points, extended his arms, like a swimming dragon, brought up the afterimage with his fists, and fiercely blasted towards Zhao Liang. Zhao Liang's expression changed. He didn't expect Luo Xiu to be able to dodge his attacks and counterattack when he was in danger. He quickly changed his moves, a faint light lit up between his hands, and used his strongest martial skill, Luo Guang fist. Bang! The fists of the 2 collided together, and everyone onlookers could feel the pain on their cheeks caused by the strong wind. Zhao Liang trembled, and there was a sharp pain in his fist. The energy and blood in his body surged, and he almost vomited blood. You! Kneel down. Chapter 8, Perfect Body Skills. You are listening at novelfull.audio. At this moment, Luo Xiu reached out to grab him. Zhao Liang's first reaction was to block him, but his 2 arms seemed to have lost consciousness and did not obey his orders. Luo Xiu's palm was constantly enlarged in his eyes, and he pressed on his forehead with a bang. A huge force came to his body, followed by severe pain in his legs and knees, but he was kicked by Luo Xiu's toes, causing him to kneel directly on the ground with a plop. A man must have integrity and be willing to admit defeat. Luo Xiu had no expression on his face and pressed Zhao Liang's head directly, hitting the ground with a bang. The pain in his body was far less than the feeling of humiliation in his heart. Zhao Liang was so angry that he spurted out blood and passed out on the spot. The whole place fell into dead silence again. No one would have thought that the final result would be like this. Luo Xiu glanced at everyone present, then snorted and walked away. The crowd automatically made way for a passage, and no one dared to block the road in front of Luo Xiu at this time. Luo Xiu from this junior class is simply a freak. I heard that some people develop their talent in martial arts later, but with accumulated experience, their strength improves quickly. He just glanced at everyone, obviously with the intention of warning. Brothers, please be careful in the future and don't offend this kid. Zhao Liang is completely finished. This time he was brought to the door by himself and Luo Xiu used it to establish his authority. Many people were talking about it, but they had to admit the strength shown by Luo Xiu, because in the martial palace, strong strength is the foundation for gaining the awe and respect of others. After leaving the Black Stone area, Luo Xiu did not return to his residence, but entered a bamboo forest. There are several open spaces near the bamboo forest. Each open space has wooden stakes driven into it. They are tall and short, long and short, and the distance between each wooden stake is different and intricately interlaced. Most of the students in the martial hall choose this place to practice their body skills. Luo Xiu jumped up and landed on a wooden stake. You can see that every wooden stake has traces of time. Every year, the martial arts palace will recruit new students. Groups of young people who yearn for martial arts are not afraid of hardships and are in the world. Here I practice martial arts hard. The meridians running route of the second-level body technique Zunbu emerged in his mind. While deducing improvements based on the life meridian diagram, Luo Xiu's figure also instantly moved on the wooden stake. Snapped, with a tap of his toes, he lifted up his body. falling from a short wooden stake to a tall wooden stake. His body shape was relatively slow at first, and he needed to get familiar with the rhythm of his movements, but as he progressed, he became faster and faster. Thump! Suddenly, he made a wrong step, because the distance between each wooden stake is different. When the speed is slow, it can be accurately controlled, but once the speed increases, it is easy to make mistakes. After falling from the wooden stake, Luo Xiu jumped up again and practiced his movements again. Unknowingly, time passed by like this, and he was immersed in the practice of body skills, so intoxicated that he almost forgot himself. In addition to internal strength, there are 4 levels of martial arts and body skills, namely entry, small achievement, great achievement, and perfection. Even for second-level martial arts, if you can cultivate to the Xiaocheng state, it can be compared to the beginning of third-level martial arts. The Desheng state can be compared to Xiaocheng. The perfect state can even be compared to the Desheng of third-level martial arts. Dragon and Tiger Fist was practiced by Luo Xiu to the Desheng state with the help of the super comprehension given by the Life and Death Pearl. Zhao Liang had practiced 2 third-level martial arts, but his mastery was not even basic, so he naturally could not be his opponent. For the next half-month, Luo Xiu was immersed in penance. During this period, every student who is about to take the annual assessment is working hard for their future. Zhang Hai hasn't had any movement during this period. I heard from other people that he recently spent a lot of money to buy a qi-nourishing pill and plans to break through to the 8th level of body refining. In the early morning of this day, Luo Xiu woke up from his cultivation state and muttered to himself. It seems I have to improve faster. As the time for the annual assessment gets closer and closer, the practice of dragon-tiger boxing has steadily improved. Although it is still at the level of Desheng, it is not far away from perfection. Only the movement skill Xuanbu improved the slowest, so Luo Xiu made it more difficult for himself. He got some thorns covered with sharp barbs and spread them in the wooden pile area where he practiced the movement skills. In this way, as long as he one wrong step and you'll fall and be scratched and stabbed by thorns. Not only that, he also whittled each wooden stake thinner, forcing himself to go beyond the limit. His crazy practice has recently attracted the attention of many martial arts students. At first, the news came from students who came here to practice body skills. A group of people gathered not far away to watch Luo Xiu practicing his movements on a thinned wooden stake. His clothes were in tatters and had scars everywhere. On the thorns below, there were also bloodstains and spikes everywhere. The top of the barb is black and shiny. Does this guy want his life? No wonder his strength has improved so quickly. With such hard training, it's hard not to improve quickly. Everyone who came to see Luo Xiu practice martial arts was full of shock. Some people who were also born in poverty were inspired and began to work hard and practice hard. On the wooden stake, Luo Xiu had already practiced Zunbu Shenfa to the peak of Xiaocheng, but he vaguely felt that he was still one step away from Desheng. If you practice martial arts and body skills according to routines, even if you are familiar with them, you are still just a beginner. Only by understanding the essence of the artistic conception and mastering the key points can you enter the realm of success, and if you want to reach the state of great success or even perfection, you need not only hard work and enlightenment, but also opportunities. In the past, he was confused and didn't know what martial arts was, but since integrating the Life and Death Pearl, Luo Xiu has truly made his mark in martial arts. Although his cultivation level is still low, he already has the heart of martial arts. Desheng. On the wooden stake, Luo Xiu's figure suddenly stopped moving. The wind moved, the clouds moved, the heaven and the earth moved, but I was the only one who didn't move. He suddenly opened his eyes, a smile appeared on his lips, jumped up, and floated away, disappearing from everyone's sight. His speed is so fast. Could it be that his movement skills have reached the level of Xiaocheng? It seems that the last time Luo Xiu and Zhao Yang fought, the dragon-tiger fist he performed was comparable to the third-level martial arts in the Xiaocheng realm, which shows that his dragon-tiger fist must be a great success. People were talking a lot, speculating on Luo Xiu's current strength. The dragon-tiger fist in the Desheng realm was obvious to all, but body skills were more difficult to practice than martial arts. Everyone felt that Desheng was unlikely, and at most he had reached the Xiaocheng realm. Despite this, everyone was surprised. The Dragon Tiger Fist was perfected in small steps. Even at the 5th level of body training, the overall strength could compete with the 7th level of body training. The 7th level of physical training is already comparable to the top masters in the intermediate class. This kid is really awesome. But no matter how hard he tries, it is impossible to beat Zhang Hai, because Zhang Hai is about to leave seclusion, and his cultivation level will definitely reach the 8th level of body training by then. He can enter the advanced class in this year's assessment. Anyone who can enter the advanced class is the elite of the martial arts palace. Zhao Liang and Zhang Hai are not at the same level at all. Although Luo Xiu's recent performance has been more unexpected each time, no one still believes that he can beat Zhang Hai, who is at the 8th level of body training. With all his martial arts and body skills completed, Luo Xiu returned to his residence. Relatively speaking, my cultivation level is improving slowly. In the room, Luo Xiu frowned. His cultivation level has reached the peak of the 5th level of body refining, but he has been unable to break through to the 6th level. The most common means of assisting martial arts training are elixirs and formations. For body refining level warriors, first-grade elixirs are also the most commonly used means. In comparison, formations are even more expensive, but Luo Xiu is very clear about his conditions. The family only has 20 or 30 taels of silver depending on his father every month, and a first-grade qi nourishing pill can easily cost hundreds or even thousands of taels of silver. It's time to do something. Luo Xiu narrowed his eyes. Chapter 9 Hunter Assessment. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Xuanhuan City occupies a huge area with a population of hundreds of thousands. The martial arts hall is located in the center of the city. There are many venues and facilities for practicing martial arts, and they themselves occupy a large area. If a warrior wants to make money, there are 3 professions that can bring in quick money, namely alchemist, caster and formation master. However, correspondingly, the amount of money spent on getting started with these professions is astronomical. In addition to these 3 professions, if other warriors want to have a way out, there is another popular profession, hunter. There are countless wild beasts and monsters in many deep mountains and swamps. These creatures are naturally powerful and blessed with special gifts. Some of the materials on them have their own uses and are of extraordinary value. The hunter profession also emerged from this. There is a hunter's guild in Xuanhuan City. If you want to become a junior hunter, the minimum requirement must be the 5th level of body refining. In the past, Luo Xiu's strength was too weak, so he never thought of embarking on this path, but in order to improve his cultivation strength faster, the only way he could choose was to become a hunter. Hunters can accept various tasks from the guild and receive rewards after completing them. The income of some powerful hunters is no worse than those of people in the 3 special professions. The Hunters Guild is located in the downtown area, which is also the most lively and prosperous area in the entire Xuanhuan City. There is a sign of 2 crossed swords on the tall building. Luo Xiu also came here for the first time. His 13-year-old face still looked a little immature. As soon as he appeared, he attracted a lot of attention. "Huh, boy, look at your delicate skin and tender flesh. This is the Hunters Guild. Are you in the wrong place?" A 9th-level martial arts disciple pointed at Luo Xiu and laughed. He had a badge with 2 crossed swords on his chest, which was a symbol of his identity as a hunter. I think he is a student from the martial palace. He wants to apply for a hunter badge. Then he can show off to other students. Hey, is it so easy to get the hunter badge? I think this kid will definitely fail, and maybe his life will be at stake. Not necessarily. Maybe this kid can pass. Zhu Laoba, do you want to make a bet? Luo Xiu ignored these people, but in this environment, he could feel the boldness, freedom, and ease of a martial arts practitioner. Every hunter here lives a life of licking blood from the edge of a knife, with a fierce and evil aura. However, Luo Xiu is not afraid, but is eager. Maybe I have a kind of paranoid passion and madness in my bones. Maybe this is the life I really want. Luo Xiu clenched his fists and walked towards a counter in the hunter's hall. The person who received Luo Xiu was a graceful woman with a professional smile on her face, but when she saw Luo Xiu's childish face, she couldn't help but be startled, but she recovered quickly and said with a smile, "Little brother, how can I help you?" "Hello, I want to apply to become a hunter," Luo Xiu said. "What?" The beautiful receptionist was stunned again. "Little brother, are you sure you want to apply to become a hunter?" Luo Xiu nodded without hesitation and added, "My name is Luo Xiu." Jiang Shanshan said seriously, "Brother Luo Xiu, applying to be a hunter is no joke. For your personal safety, I hope you can think carefully before making a decision." "I want to take the assessment." Luo Xiu ignored the advice of others and said firmly, "Quiet." The entire Hunters Guild hall suddenly fell silent. "Boy, don't you have a fever?" Since a student at the 7th level of physical training in the Martial Hall intermediate class failed and died in the assessment 3 years ago, except for some students in the advanced class who are above the 8th level of physical training who can pass the assessment, don't you kid? Clear. Yes, Luo Xiu, you are still young, you can wait a few years before taking the assessment. The beautiful receptionist Jiang Shanshan also advised. As long as the conditions are met, there should be no reason for the guild to reject my assessment application, right? Luo Xiu hesitated. "Huh, the young man is quite stubborn, I like it." A strong man named Zhou Long laughed, "If you pass the assessment, I will let you join my team." "It's a joke. Can a boy with no hair on his head pass the test? If he passes, I'll twist his head off and play it as a ball for him." On the other side, a man with slightly beard said disdainfully. "Zhou Long, do you dare to make this bet?" The bearded man said loudly. "Damn it, Guohuzi, what do you mean?" Zhou Long glared and shouted. In Luo Xiu's perception of life's veins, the cultivation levels of Zhou Long and Guohuzi should both be in the Qi-Si realm. He did not expect that these two people came into conflict because of their own assessment issues. Under Luo Xiu's repeated insistence, Jiang Shanshan took out an application form for assessment. Luo Xiu did not hesitate. He believed that he could pass the test with his own strength. Otherwise, if he could not pass this level of test, how could he enter a higher realm of martial arts in the future? With a swipe of a pen, Luo Xiu signed his name, and then a receptionist from the Hunters Guild took Luo Xiu to the assessment venue. "I bet this guy will fail the test." In the hall, Guohuzi slapped the table, yelled and glared at Zhou Long, saying, "Zhou Long, do you dare to bet?" Both of them have a small team, and they usually dislike each other and often confront each other tit for tat. There were so many people present, and seeing his old enemy Guohuzi being so arrogant, Zhou Long became a little angry. He stood up and kicked the stool away, saying angrily, "I made a bet with you. Young people are impulsive. Come with me." The person who led Luo Xiu to the assessment site was an old man wearing a white robe. Luo Xiu saw 2 badges on the old man's chest. One was a hunter's badge with crossed swords, and the other was a badge engraved with a 6-pointed star array. Array Master Badge. Luo Xiu was slightly shocked. It was obvious that this old man's identity was not simple. He had a dual identity. He looked old, but in fact, his life veins contained strong vitality and dormant power. Walking on the passage, with torches hanging on both sides, and pushing open a stone door, Luo Xiu followed the old man and came to a spacious room. The floor of this room is engraved with some strange patterns, connected vertically and horizontally like ghostly symbols, and they don't seem to have any regularity. In the center of the room, there is a raised stone platform, about 2 feet high. Seeing Luo Xiu looking around, the old man in white robe said calmly, "The monsters will appear only after the formation is activated. The assessment for a first-level hunter is to kill 3 first-level monsters independently. Monsters are different from wild beasts. The lowest level of monsters can be as strong as a 5th-level human body-refining warrior, but true strength still has to be demonstrated through combat. A warrior who is also at the 5th level of body refining and has no fighting experience is far from a match for monsters. 3-headed first-level monster. I should be able to do it." Luo Xiu said. The old man in white robe didn't say much, and pointed to the stone platform in the middle of the room. "You can just stand on it." Luo Xiu nodded, walked over and stood on the stone platform. After I activate the formation, you will enter the environment formed inside the formation. Everything you encounter is basically the same as reality. If you feel that you can't hold on, it's best not to hold on. As soon as your thoughts move, 3 within 1 breath, you can escape from the formation. The old man in white robe said, 3 breaths may seem short, but in a life and death fight, a lot can happen. Many people who were killed or injured during the assessment were also killed in this short period of time. Let's start. Luo Xiu took a deep breath and adjusted his condition to the best. Chapter 10. It's so boring. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Roar, that there was a flash of white light, and 3 ferocious monsters appeared more than 10 meters away from him. It has gray hair all over its body and scarlet eyes. It is similar to a wild wolf, but its body is much larger than that of a wolf. Its claws are as sharp as knives, and its fangs flash with cold light. Iron-backed demon wolf. Although Luo Xiu has never seen a monster beast, he knows something about it from books. From its characteristics, he can see the origin of this monster beast. This low-level demon wolf is known as the Iron Back, which means that the bones on their back are as hard as iron stone. No life veins. Luo Xiu frowned and looked intently, only to find that the 3 iron-backed demon wolves had no life veins in their bodies and were entirely made of condensed vitality. This is naturally because of the formation, which cannot perfectly transform real life. Luo Xiu frowned because in this environment, he could not use his ability to damage life veins. Facing the 3 iron-backed demon wolves, Luo Xiu was not nervous, and was even slightly excited. He licked his lips, made a gesture as if he was about to attack, and said to himself, "It doesn't matter if I am restricted, this will show my true strength." Ouch! At this moment, 3 iron-backed demon wolves were already flying towards him, with a very fierce momentum. Although the formation cannot deduce a complete life form, it can express the habits, attack methods and other aspects of this monster beast. Well done. The steps under Luo Xiu's feet moved slightly, and Deshang's step-by-step movement was almost instinctive, and he directly avoided the attacks of the 2 iron-backed demon wolves. Dragon Tiger Fist and Tiger Style. There was no pause in the movements of his hands, and the inner energy flowed into his fists, smashing into the abdomen of the 3rd demon wolf. Monsters also know how to avoid their own vital points when fighting. The monster wolf suddenly crawled down, exposing its most defensive back to Luo Xiu's attack. Bang! The demon wolf was directly blown away by Luo Xiu's punch, and then its body exploded into a piece of white light in mid-air. Although it is known as the Iron Back, the defense of the back is the strongest, but this is only relatively speaking. The Dragon Tiger Fist at the Deshang level of Luo Xiu can be compared with the full-strength attack of a 7th-level body refining warrior. Coupled with the destructive power of the inner energy of death, this is able to kill instantly with 1 punch. However, Luo Xiu didn't feel comfortable either. The strong countershock made the bones of his right fist seem to be broken, causing severe pain. At this moment, the other 2 iron-backed demon wolves pounced on them again without fear of death, and the fishy wind hit their faces. Angry, the inner energy between the 2 poles of life and death changes attributes in the body, and the rich vitality flows into the fist, repairing the life veins, and the broken bones also heal quickly. Using his body skills, Luo Xiu easily avoided the attacks of the 2 iron-backed monster wolves. Tamrin Style, the inner energy is transformed into 2 streams in the body. One is transformed into the energy of life to repair life veins, and the other is transformed into the energy of death to use martial arts to kill the enemy. Boom! Another iron-backed demon wolf exploded into white light, and its head was exploded by Luo Xiu's punch. The 1st-level monster is nothing more than that. Luo Xiu squinted at the last remaining monster wolf, curved the corner of his mouth, and said to himself, "It can be used to sharpen my inch-step skills." The iron-backed demon wolf rushed towards him. This time, Luo Xiu did not kill him forcefully. Instead, he put his hands behind his back and relied on his body movements to avoid the demon wolf's attack. The demon wolf's attacks are very fast, with attacks, bites, and claws, and the frequency is consistent with almost no pause. But Luo Xiu's movements were faster. For half an hour, the iron-backed demon wolf failed to even touch the hem of his clothes. It's really boring. It seems that if I want to continue to improve my body skills, this level of training alone won't do it. After practicing body skills for half an hour, although the effect is better than simply practicing with wooden stakes, it is not very obvious and the progress is very small. Bang! A heavy punch was struck, just when the iron-backed demon wolf had just pounced and had no time to react. The hard skull was shattered by Luo Xiu's punch. The demon wolf disappeared and turned into white light floating around. Go out. After passing the test, Luo Xiu spoke to the surroundings. The surrounding scene began to change, and within 3 breaths, Luo Xiu withdrew from the formation, still standing on the stone platform, as if he had never moved. As soon as Luo Xiu came out, he saw the old man in white robe who had brought him for the assessment. He saw the other man looking at him in surprise. Good boy, old man, I actually misjudged you. Your strength is comparable to the 7th level of body refining. The old man in white robe said. He arranged the formation here by himself, so everything Luo Xiu did in the formation environment he can see it all through experience. Luo Xiu scratched his head in embarrassment, not knowing what to say. But don't be arrogant and complacent, kid. Not to mention the entire Yunlong County, even in this Qingyun city, the 5th level of body refining is nothing. You still have a long way to go. The old man in white robe said with a smile. Remember the teachings of our predecessors, Luo Xiu said. Okay, you can go to the lobby to get the hunter badge. The old man in white robe signed his name on Luo Xiu's application assessment, and then handed the application form to Luo Xiu. Xuanhuan Tian. Luo Xiu saw the signature on it and knew that it must be the name of the old man in white robe. Half an hour has passed. It seems that the boy must have failed the test. Maybe he's dead inside. Even if you are not dead, broken arms and legs are very common in the assessment. In the hall, there was a confrontation between people on both sides, and the people on Guohuzi's side looked determined to win. On the other hand, the people on Zhou Long's side had gloomy expressions. They had just gambled on Luo Xiu's application for the assessment. The bet between the two parties was 1,000 taels of silver. 1,000 taels of silver is not a small amount for a Qi Si realm warrior. It takes 10 days and a half of hard work to earn it, but what Zhou Long cares about most is not money, but face. Among the hunters in Qingyun City, he is also a somewhat famous figure. Guohuzi, don't be proud. If that kid really passes the test, I don't see where you can put your dog face. Zhou Long said with a snort. I'm still saying that, if he really passes, I, Guohuzi, will twist my head off and play it as a ball for him. Guohuzi yelled without showing any signs of weakness. Come on, come out. At this moment, someone pointed at the passage leading to the assessment place. Everyone looked around and saw Luo Xiu walking towards the counter with the application form in his hand. Snapped. In full view of everyone, Luo Xiu walked to the counter, clapped the application form under his palm, and stared at Jiang Shanshan with a smile. Little brother, looking at you, you are not injured at all. Could it be that you gave up and did not take part in the assessment? Jiang Shanshan looked at Luo Xiu and said with a smile. I said beauty, what if I passed the test? Luo Xiu also smiled. In fact, he also knew that Jiang Shanshan's previous persuasion was for his own good. He just thought this woman was quite interesting. Maybe she was influenced by the people in the Hunters Guild Hall. Affected by the atmosphere, his character also relaxed a lot. The people on both sides of Zhou Long and Guohuzi were also paying attention to the movements here, and wanted to know what the final result would be. Jiang Shanshan rolled her eyes at Luo Xiu, pointed her finger at her red lips, and said with a smile, Little brother, it's not my sister who tells you that the chance of a 5th-level body training martial artist passing the examination is less than 10%. If you can really pass the examination, sister, how about I chase you backwards? Puff. Many drinkers in the hall burst into tears when they heard this sentence, and they were all stunned. Damn it, why am I not so lucky that beautiful Shanshan is chasing after me? It's unreasonable. Does Shanshan really like this boy, the younger one? His grandma's fault. I curse this kid for not passing the test. People in the hall also followed suit and shouted, "Boy, hurry up and see if you can pass." Luo Xiu chuckled and took his hand away from the application form. "Beauty, remember what you just said." Everyone's eyes were focused on the application form. The two eye-catching words passed made the whole hall quiet, and you could hear the drop of a needle.